You only really need three things to start a consulting business. That's it. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through all three so you can stop thinking about starting a consulting, coaching, freelance, or fractional business and just get started, whether that's on the side or diving in full time. And how do I know that the approach that I'm about to share with you works? Well, because I've used it to help my clients create more than $250 million in sales, from solo consultants to startups and SMBs, all the way up to Fortune 500 brands like McDonald's and Microsoft. So let's start with the first question that beginners need to answer to start a consulting business. What do you sell? This, unsurprisingly, is your offer. And your offer, I should say, is not the same thing as your job title. It's not consultant, it's not coach, it's not fractional CMO. Your offer sits at the overlap of just two things: the skills that you have and the demand in the marketplace. Now, I love to say this to my clients, and if you remember nothing else from this video, I want you to remember these three words: demand dictates clients. You might be incredibly skilled at something. You might have 20 years of experience. You might have a master's degree or a PhD. But if there is no real demand for solving that problem that you've been getting paid to solve, you don't have a business. Your only task at this moment is to find that overlap between the skills that you have and the demand in the marketplace. And you might need to test a few things to see where those two things overlap. If you want help, by the way, thinking through this skills and demand overlap and validating demand in the marketplace, I've actually put together a totally free consulting starter kit. It walks you through exactly how to map your skills against real market demand, so you're not just guessing if something will sell, you know. You can get it at consultingstarterkit.com or at the link in the description. So now we have an offer. Let's move on to the second question. Who are you selling this offer to? This is your audience, and I want to be really, really clear here because this is where a lot of people get hung up. Your audience is not the same thing as a hyper-specific niche. A lot of advice out there will tell you before you ever talk to a client, you need to narrow down your niche. And they say things like riches are in the niches, which must be true because it rhymes, right? I've seen so many people get stuck here because they want to get so narrowly focused and dial in as like the consultant who leads change management for advertising agencies with 50 to 100 employees making under $2 million a year, only in US states whose name ends in an S. That specificity is dangerous because it makes sense on the surface, but it doesn't really work out in the real world. And for beginners, it is a very, very sticky trap because it leads you down a path of self-doubt, asking yourself questions like, is my niche right? Is it too specific? Is it the wrong niche? Is it too general? Should I change niches? And just stop and think for a second. Stop and breathe. I'm here to tell you that your niche is just an audience of people who are interested in solving the problem that you solve. That's it. Anything more specific, you need to let the market decide who your buyer is. Now, if you solve change management, your audience is actually just people dealing with change inside of their organization. If you solve marketing for service businesses, your audience is businesses who need leads. Focus on the problem first and start testing the waters because you don't actually know what demand is strongest for yet. So get as narrow as you need to be to share insights and ideas that resonate. Even putting posts on social media can help you start to validate demand. But don't go much deeper than that at the very beginning. Okay, so we've talked about the offer, we've talked about the audience. Now on to the third question. How do you get these people's attention? This is your message. And this is where a lot of experts panic. They think that having a message or marketing themselves means that they have to become an influencer or a content creator, that they have to buy like a big setup and rent a studio or post every single day or build some slimy personal brand to get a client. But it doesn't mean that at all. To sell something, yes, you have to talk about it. There's no way around that. But you don't have to become some kind of like weird newscaster version of yourself and like dance on TikTok. Your message is just getting people to buy into how and why you solve problems that they need fixed, the way that you do. If your goal is to get clients, your content will fall into one of two buckets: insight or value. Now, a value post answers somebody's question and gives away all the answers. A lot of times, these are called things like cheat sheets or checklists or step by step guides, things that can help people solve their problems without you. And obviously, the problem here is that the answers are what you should be charging for if you are in the expertise business. There's this belief that if you answer everybody's questions for free, they'll feel grateful enough to hire you. I blame Gary Vee, who brought up this idea in his book Jab, 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 Right Hook, but it's not really how it works in 2026 in the real world. People don't really want to buy from someone because they're grateful that you gave them a bunch of free advice. Reciprocity is a thing, but in the case of service businesses like consulting, coaching, freelancing, it often undervalues your expertise and just attracts people who want to walk all over you because you don't have any boundaries. You give it all away for free. So instead of giving away all the answers with value, you want a healthy mix of mostly insight content with a little bit of value to show that you know what you're doing. And the reason for this is because insight gives people light bulb moments. It changes how they see their problems. It shares your philosophies, your frameworks, your way of thinking about why problems happen in the first place and how they should be solved. And this is the content that attracts paying clients, not giving away all of your valuable and rare expertise that you should be charging for. Now, if you're serious about turning your expertise into a real business, whether that's full-time or on the side, every single day I work with consultants, professionals building side gigs, agencies, and service businesses inside of my one-on-one coaching and my group program, Chief Business Co-Pilot, to do exactly that. You can apply to join the waitlist or get my free business building masterclass at the link below, or just visit chiefbusinesscopilot.com. And if you're ready to learn more, I suggest that you watch this video next about how you can create insight-based content that attracts paying clients.